It's install day for the brand new FAB Dock. The weather is fabulous. This is the FAB Dock. Let's install it. Welcome back to the Rudder. My name's Damien. We're here on our dock. There is no Antoinette around. She's down there. We've made room to install the FAB Dock, and this is it. It comes in, this is the major bit, this is in one large box and there's two other boxes around. So if you're shipping it across the world, it's fairly compact. It's pretty crazy because they're about to unpack everything. We're going to do it on our pontoon here, I think is the plan. And then once that's all set up, we'll bring Antoinette back in and do the electrical side. Just in case you're wondering also, the whole FAB Dock, it's around about 100 kilos, so we managed to get it down the side of the house, and it's quite amazing for how big this is going to be when we install it. We fit it down the side of the house, not a problem. We do need the FAB Dock boys here to move it. It's pretty heavy. Dean and the guys are just getting ready and we'll start unboxing. We've got a time lapse going. We're going to record everything, try and bring everything. I'm going to try and stay out of everyone's way so I'm not too annoying, but let's get into it. Easy as that. You've got an unboxing, brand new FAB Dock, ready to roll. As I mentioned, I'm going to keep out of the way as much as I can, but you can see the FAB Dock all wrapped up, rolled up, pretty amazing. So it gets vacuumed, it gets vacuumed before it goes in, so all the air gets sucked out of it, so they can roll it up nice and tight. So yeah, we're just about to undo it, just doing some manoeuvring to make sure that it fits on the pontoon properly and doesn't go in the drink. I'm going to start with the bow first, push that off, and then do the rear next. So preferably, you'd probably do this, you'd prefer to do this on the beach. It is absolutely high tide here, there's bugger all beach. So we're having to manoeuvre around the pontoon and the tracks and things. The guys have got it sorted, we'll see how we go. We've already got air going in it, so I'm not sure what the plan is, but we've got some air going in one side, and then that's the rear down there. You can see slightly different colours than the previous one, which you talked about in the factory video. You can check out here. Yeah, it's putting a little bit of air into it, and this is the easy bit. So once we get the FAB Dock in the water, we'll bring Antoinette in and do the electrics. Not long after unboxing, got it some air in it, not inflated to full, but it's floating out in the water, it's doing its job. And the guys are just working on probably the heart of the FAB Dock, the bilge pumps, which sit right at the very lowest point in the FAB Dock. So there's two massive bilge pumps in there that submerge most of their lives. Alright, so the FAB Dock is coming along very well. The bilge pumps are all in, the electrics are all in. Cable tied to where they need to be. As I mentioned before, this side will be next to the pontoon. We're going to spin it around. Just going to put in a little bit more air, push it out, and I think we'll work on the tail. So there needs to be weights put in the tail, and I don't know what else. We'll find out as we go. Good opportunity to talk about. So this is the 25X, so extra wide. So the usual 25 is 2.7 wide in the beam. The extra wide is 3.1, so with Antoinette being 2.9 beam, this gives that extra little bit, so there's a bit of room to get around the sides, which means I'll also be able to get around to the other side, do some cleaning, do some other things. On the last FAB Dock you couldn't, it was basically tucked right in to the hull, so this will give me a bit more space. Just putting in the final weights, so there's weights all around the back, and then there's two weights that go in the tail there, so just putting in those final ones. And then we're going to put the FAB Dock in the water, spin it into its final spot. Launching the FAB Dock. So we're just about to, there we go, it's one fully floating FAB Dock, so we're just going to spin it into position. FAB Dock's fully floating and just being manoeuvred into its final place on the pontoon. We'll secure it there and then get Antoinette in and start on the electrical work. So we're in the newly installed FAB Dock, and the reason I'm sitting in the middle of the FAB Dock is just to prove a point, is that these things are bone dry. So once you got you put in your boat, once you've got your bilge pumps going, they go bone dry, and you can, when you need to service them or get in there and clean them, you can stand up gracefully. Oh, take some balance, but yeah, so you can stand up, and yeah, it's not easy to stand up, I must say, but you can get in here, clean it up, do whatever you need. So this is basically where Antoinette will be sitting in a few minutes. We're probably at the very deepest point, so this is where the bilge pumps are, and then just behind me is the tail that drops down. So we're about to get everything going, but yeah, it's and also just to show just how strong this stuff is, even as mentioned in the factory video, the one that we pulled out, my old one, it was absolutely fine. You could walk on that one. This is 25 times stronger, so yeah, you've got no problems with you damaging the deck. All right, let's get Antoinette in here. So just doing the first fill, and need the broom for this one just because there's air in all the weight pockets at the minute, but once it's underwater they'll be full of water, and then we can put the bungs in and they'll stay full of water. So this is the first time it's going to be full of water for the new FAB Dock. You can see the bilge pumps slowly sinking into their little pocket. So down goes the tail of the FAB Dock, and the secret broom just pushing down the first time. Later on, once all the weights are filled with water, this will happen automatically. You can see the bilge pumps sinking into their pocket and down into the lowest point of the FAB Dock. And there it is, the FAB Dock filling up. So I'm going to jump in Antoinette now and start bringing her in for the maiden docking. So here we come, nice and slow, as always you do with any sort of docking, nice and slow. Don't want to hit anything harder than you want to. Don't want to hit anything, and Dean's just going to catch me. Don't even need to be there. The tube bounces me up to the other side, and a little bit more thrust just to drive into the FAB Dock. And at this point I just trim the engines up a little bit. Don't want to jag the tail, it's not really a problem, but it's sunk right down there. And there we are, home for the maiden docking of Antoinette. So Antoinette's now sitting in a FAB Dock, just pumping up the back for the last little bit. Then we'll pump the water out, and we can move the boat back into the correct position. And yeah, 90% of the way there. Alright, the guys have finished the last step in the install of the FAB Dock. That's why I'm down here in the lazarette where the batteries are, because they need to install the control unit. So the control unit is just down here with the batteries. One of the big additions of the new control system is the app. I don't know if you can see that. There's a brand new app, so you can see what the pumps and the controller are doing, which pump they're controlling, if it's also connected to the air compressor, and measures the voltage. If the voltage gets too high for some weird reason, it'll cut out. If the voltage gets too low, it will also cut out. That's really important. If you if there's lots of rain, obviously the pump detects the water and will pump the water out. If that just goes on and on and on, and you don't have solar and your shore power is not connected, it could really drain your battery. So it won't do that. When the voltage reaches a certain low level, it'll cut out. That just means your FAB Dock will fill up with rainwater. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. Your boat can handle it, especially for a few days, and in rainwater nothing's going to grow, so it's all good. Alright, that's it. Antoinette's home, pumping out, brand new FAB Dock installed. Took a few hours, but not too bad. Looking very sharp, and there's heaps more room around the boat. Also like that new grey floor it's got, so you can see if anything is going wrong with your hull, or if you've got engine leaks or any of those bad things, you can spot them. I hope you liked that video. If you've got any questions, leave them down below. If you're interested in FAB Dock, give Dean a call, he can help you out. Otherwise, we'll see you next time on the Rudder. I know I just did the sign off, but in the meantime, while we were chatting, the FAB dock is actually empty. This is one of the cool things, as long as I don't fall in, you can walk around your FAB dock. The grey is still quite warm. Whoa. Got my tender here, which is being a little bit tricky, but this is the exciting bit. This is why it's the 25X. You can see all that extra space between the FAB dock, between Antoinette and the tube. I can even stand in it. No water runs in. It's completely dry. And I'll now be able to get around to this side of the boat, which you can see from the bird poo is a little bit more difficult to clean. With this new extra wide FAB dock, that's all solved.